Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another WWE Champions video. And this video is a little different. I'm not really going into a big character depth of like a sort of a preview or review in a way, but I just want to talk a lot about Penta. Not just this one, even though specifically I do want to talk about Penta Zero. I actually want to talk about all three versions in the game. So Penta Zero, Zombie Penta, and Acro Penta. I want to talk about all three of these pentas because something I have noticed as someone who's been using Striker Penta and testing stuff out, because as someone who watched a bit of the previews, I thought he was a little underwhelming, but then new stuff is coming out. He's got 2 new plates and a gear now. And I just want to talk about how pentas seemingly are just worst versions of each other. What do I mean by that? Well, we'll get to all three of them. Penta Zero. This is what most people consider their favorite build. I was sitting there, I'm like, this is just a worse moveset, a worse version of this. It's just a worse version of it. But then this build is pretty close, but I don't think it's as good as this version of his builds. All three of his best movesets are almost the exact same, a few little tweaks and changes, but each version of Penta kind of seems like they're worse than the last. And so I want to talk about that because I'm like, there's no way that he's that bad, or he's like, Striker Penta should be, useful considering he's the newest version. He's taking us kind of into the 7-star meta. He doesn't necessarily need to be like turn 1-ing 7 stars, but he should be kind of relevant enough to be taken there, right? We're gonna get into that. So let's go to the matches here, and let's talk about literally all three of these people, because again, all three pentas are in a way the exact freaking same. So we're all gonna fight Undertaker. That way, there's no class advantage on any of my boys. There's nothing. Well, actually, Penta will, but we can swap Penta over to Scott or Sammy. So we'll swap him out, but the other two will have no issues. Now, yes, this Penta is only hype 3. The belt is honestly awful. I will give him that. It's a 150 with tier 6. This needs to be a Fury 3 black move. I do not have one that would significantly buff him up. I do not have that. Also, plates are completely useless. Now, I would put new stuff on him. I don't have any skill player removal. And we'll talk about the plate options that I have in mind a little bit later on, because with this build, I don't have his Penta plate yet, but as long as I can hopefully get the max out, we'll get his Penta plate. I don't have a ministry, so then he would get the Valkyrie crest. So a few ways to look into that. But if you don't know what this moveset is, it's pretty standard. It's pretty simple, right? I'm going to gain 10 red and P. I make a 6x6 red arena multi-string 6, and then I make the whole board red. That is what I do. I'm running Roxanne. I got Sherry. We got Santa Hogan to make this turn 1, and then I have Bailey because obviously I'm making the whole board red. So that's what this build is. If you have gear, which I do not have, which I will give credit, this gear looks great. Like, I really like the look of this gear. I'm not sure if it's my favorite Penta gear yet, because I will say Acro Penta's was it Mania 41 gear? It looks so good too, but this one's also really, really good. I just kind of wish it had more of this in the actual match, because I think it's just he becomes yellowy. He's just got the yellow gear. Otherwise, I do like this look too. But yes, there are plates and stuff that would help a lot, and I do want to talk more about him. But I want to show you that he's just a worse version of the other two Pentas. We'll go into 2 times speed so you guys can see it a little bit more here. If you have this gear, this move would actually be full in most modes, and you would be able to hit it twice, and if you have his plates, right, it does help. So we'll say we have the gear. Right? Boom, I hit this. I drop my first ones. These are times 10s. So 254, we're at 2.8. Obviously, if you had plates, it'd be more than that. Actually, we'll go give him the Valkyrie Crest. Put it on the same spot, which kind of sucks. So again, damage is, again, that 2.8 here. I just want to talk about this. So 288, 4460. There are 36 of these. So that's 103 mil with these. And you'll get another 254,930 on a few more. So you're doing like 110 maybe. You know, that move damage ain't bad either. So, like, I don't know, 110 mil, I say, is a pretty standard thing. And that's no play, which is not terrible. Right? I'll put the Valkyrie Crest actually on him, and we can look at that a little bit deeper. I do not have his plate yet. I was maybe tempted to wait on this video until then, but I do want to talk about this now because this is so odd to me of the designs of each Penta and how they've somehow got worse. Because yeah, these plates don't help him literally at all. I get my removal 7 days, 19 hours. So once I get that plate and stuff, we'll get it. Because I don't have a belt for him right now to do anything. But yeah, we'll put Valkyrie Crest on him. This is activate red gem 50%. Right? Boom. So we'll go up a little bit more. Again, we'll still act as if I have the gear. So mind you, this is with gear, technically, right? With gear, we did like 110. So I'm at 282 now, which brings us up. We bring us over to 3 mil. Now we hit this again. Same spot. Obviously, you could get more multis out. But now we're at 3.1. We're now at 3.4. So now let's talk about that on a calculator here. I got a calculator set up. So 344, 3060 times 36, 123. Obviously, right, in most cases, you would actually have a bit more than that. Here, let's say you get best of the, which is, you know, this area and then another area, so you would only miss 2 gems, technically, would be the best of the best. So that'd be that times, what was that, 47? 161. 161 million. Is actually not too bad. If I had his plate, we're probably looking a little bit closer to 200 million. Right? That is with gear, though. That is if you have the gear. That is what he would do, right? That is with gear. That is with his plate. Well, naturally, that's technically not with his plate, but you know, that's with gear. So we'll stay on that. That is with gear. Now, let's go to Zombie Penta. Let's go to him. So Zombie Penta, where is this fool? There he is. I do have a little bit more plates. I do have an insignia on him. I do have, you know, the tier 6, yada yada. I do not have Penta's gear. I do have a moment, though. I do not have his actual gear, so we're going to have to wait a turn, and this will still act like as if we did have his gear. So the build that most people run, if you have it, is his finisher, Mexican Destroyer, Zombie Bomb. So Zero Mintro here is increased yellow gem 90%, and that makes the whole board yellow. Beautiful. It's our main color, and we're increasing by 90%. We increase green MP by 5. We don't care about that, but we do make 30 random gems in the multi of strength 3. And then we increase the strength of our multis by 4. So you remember how we had 36 times 10s? And we made the whole board red? Well, guess what? This version of Penta, because if you have his gear, you don't run purple, you run yellow MP. You have Sherry, Santa Hogan, and Punk. Well, that actually means you have 30 multi of strength 11, which is technically less than 36. Actually, no, it's not. It is still technically more multi gems than Striker already. But then on top of that, we increase our yellow gem by 90% and make the whole board our main color. Now, I do have to wait a turn because I don't actually have the gear. So we're just simulating as if I did. Taker shouldn't do anything to us anyway. No, he will not. So this would be a completely turn 1 build. Right? 300k. We put multis down. Also, this is less reversals than Striker Penta. We increase the strength of them. Bam. Whole bunch of times 11s on the board. So 366. We are doing 4.4. So we're already doing way more than Striker Penta. And that's before we hit a 90% increase and make the entire board yellow. Even if we don't even take consideration the rest of the board and we just talk about these times 11s, our Penta Striker, that is with gear, is doing like 161, a little bit more than that, maybe 165. And if I had his plate, we're probably closer to that, maybe that 180, maybe a bit more. This Penta is doing 4,436,000 and 322. And we're going to times that by 30, which is 133, which, yes, in comparison, that is technically less than Striker. However, that is before a 90% increase. I obviously can't showcase this because it's going to pin and I won't know the damage. But just keep that in mind. This is before 90% increase and the whole board yellow. I presume each multi is doing well into at least 6 million. But it's probably way more than that, actually. So just keep that in mind. That is probably over 200 million. Right? I think it's pretty clearly going to be over 200 mil, right? Possibly even more than that. So, pretty significant, right? That's better than Striker, to me, at least, right? Like, yeah, turn 1, less reversals than Striker. Is a better color, you know, in terms of that. He's also just got better links in general, because he's a zombie. I like that better. And then there's Acro Penta. This is the first Penta that came out, right? Now, mind you, they did add some stuff and things, and that does help him a lot. Like I think he might have gotten 1 gear right away. This gear, though, that we're looking at right now, was not right away. Belt, it's tier 6. We got a nearing end on him. Gears, I got both. That is a big difference that this one has. He's got 2 gears, while the other 2 have 1. So 10% more purple, all color 5. Mind you, he's got the same gear that the new one has. Which is crazy. Mind you, too, all of these are hot tag characters, too. So, you know, they're all kind of the same. This is the build. And I'm pretty sure he has a moment that I am missing that gives him like 100% more gem. But this is the build. So we force stun, increase bull MP. We make 49 immobile. We're going to choose a 2x2 to make into traps. And if they break them, we make 40 random and a multi of strength 5. And then we make 42 of them into purple, right? Because of the +5, you can run Sherry and King if you want. And then I have just Mem and Brett on there as well. I don't know what they were thinking. I really don't here, because this one is safer, because guess what? If you hit a stun, you can't reverse anything. Like, your steals don't come out. Right? So if you're a gain MP guy, well, it doesn't matter, I stunned you. So that's why a lot of pentas are used against someone like Haku. So boom, you're stunned. The finisher comes out, we hit you with the sacrifice, bam. Even though we're technically going to turn 2, we don't, because you're stunned most of the time. And in some cases it's better, because if you're someone like me who likes to do hot take shenanigans, it's really good because it technically gives a turn up. Boom! He's stunned, so he doesn't get to hit us ever. We now have times 12s on the board. Our purple gem is doing almost 430k. Times 12, they're doing 5.5. Like, let's look at how many multis there are on here. Let's get the damage out first on the calculator. So 5, 5, 1, 5, 4, 0, 4. Okay? There are how many multis on this board? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. So there's 40. Exactly, right? Because he broke the trap, boom, there we go. So if you times that by 40, that's 220 million. So you're telling me the first Penta that ever came out is safer than the other two by far. He has ways to help other people because of his hot take, and technically he can go, another turn because of the stun mechanic than both other pentas. He's super hard MP wise to get down due to his gear, and if that's with Sherry, you don't have to run Sherry. You can run an MP trainer. You can run Nation Rock, which is what I used to use on him. So -4 didn't even put him down. So safety is through the roof. And he's hitting harder than Striker. I mean, even if we're talking Striker at 6 gold, doing 180, compared to this Penta's 220. That's a pretty big margin. That is kind of a little too much to, just not ignore. I don't want to fight to get her. It's a huge thing to just not ignore. This Penta, the first Penta that came out, is safer. I mean, it's probably the slowest of the 3, realistically, but whatever. But he's safer by a lot. He's unreversible pretty much unless you have a stun immunity belt, which really no one does. And he hits harder. I think you could make a comparison of no, Zombie Penta hits on par, if not harder. But he has a reversal of multi. Again, this Penta's doing at least 200 mil. He might be hitting a little bit harder than actually Acrobat. But he does have some extra reversal stuff that he can deal with. So, to be honest with you, and he's got great lengths. So, to me, Zombie Penta, Acro Penta, they're good for different reasons. I like both of them. I use both of them because of different reasons. But then there's Striker, the newest freaking one. And I'm like, what are we doing? What are we doing here? Yeah, he's got a gear, which helps him. Don't get me wrong. +5 MP is always useful. Unless you're like Ray Phoenix or Ultimate Warrior. It's useful, right? But the problem is this build, which a lot of people consider his best build, even with gear, is not as good as Acrobat and Showboat. And the sad part is I just showed you all that they're all pretty much the same builds, just different color and the way they do it. It's the same thing. Put multis on the board, make a color, okay? Well, Zombie Penta puts multis on the board, increases them so there are more multis than this one, and increases his gem, makes the whole board his main color. And then there's Acrobat Penta, who puts multis on the board. They're stronger than this one's. But he also sets a plate off that gives him 350% more gem. He's also got a gear that gives him another 200% more gem, and then makes the board a certain color. Right? So when you hear those, this one just makes multis, and then makes the board the color. That's all he does. I'm pretty sure red is his secondary. Yes, it is. I want to say that Acrobat Pentas might not be his secondary color. Nope, it's his third. Okay, so technically, right, you would think, oh, okay, that one's better because instead of it being my secondary color being made, I'm using my third. But that gear completely overrides it. So it actually is still better, plus the 350 plate. This Penta can never actually get 350% increase. The best you can do, realistically, I mean, technically that's not true. Realistically, right, if you had his plate and you ran ministry business, you could have 400%. So technically more. But his multi-strength is less than his acrobat counterpart still. And I don't know. I don't know what they were doing with him. I expected more. I don't know. I expected more from him. I don't necessarily know if this is because, like, I didn't look or pay attention because I already had him, but if he's someone that we're supposed to recruit, you know, kind of like, oh, this is your S tier recruit, you're going to get him anyway. That very well could be the case. And that's why maybe he's not as good. But again, the same thing can be said. Well, Penta Zombie was an S tier recruit that you can get for free. And I still like that one way more than this one, I think. Especially if you have his gear. And he came out in October. Right? So this one came out last weekend. So, you know, I don't know. I don't know what I think. Mind you, too, this Penta has had a lot more stuff than really any character in the game. I mean, don't get me wrong, Acro Penta got a lot. He eventually went into a moment and he got 2 gears. And he did get a plate, but that plate wasn't very good, and no one cared for it anyway. This Penta already got a gear and 2 skill plates. So, mind you, too, he does have a AAA link that the other 2 do not have, which is multi-2, which does benefit him. But right now, the only person that has that is Mr. Iguana. Psycho Clown probably will also have it, and, you know, whoever else comes out. Again, do I think, though, I'm going to use him for +2 multi-strength when we have, you know, a bunch of other characters that I think are way more viable than him? That's the issue I have. Like, all right, he's got the AAA link. Cool. He's got Mexico link. However, he's not the best Mexican character to run. Like, by far. Even for strikers, I don't think he is. I mean, I think he is probably better than Striker Dom. I mean, I haven't used him and I haven't tried his, you know, big build stuff. I don't see him doing better, but I could very well be wrong. But it doesn't matter because Striker Eddie exists. And oh my god, he's so strong. Like, Striker Eddie kind of puts this Penta to shame. And mind you, Striker Eddie was one of those characters that I'm kind of think Penta is, where he came out and he was kind of just but then Eddie got a bunch of stuff that made him stupid good. That is, you know, the Tekken gear, Tekken plate, Tekken moment, all these Tekken stuff that he got. However, I still really enjoyed him even before that because of his one yellow move that dodges literally everything. I still think it's probably the strongest move in the game because it shuts down a lot of the opponent's offense. It's probably one of the best defensive tools in the game. So yeah, to me, this Penta has just a lot of issues. Like, don't get me wrong, if you fight a trickster, dude, you do damage. Like, you do a lot of damage. If you have him in a tag match and you tag him in, He gets 100% to all gem. Like, he starts doing damage. Like, I was sitting there doing some hot tag tests, you know, because I do want to do all 3 pentas a hot tag video. I was just doing tests with him, and I got to like 300, 400 million at 6 gold, which is pretty significant damage. To be honest with you, it's not too bad. But for actual hot tag stuff, I mean, we've done way better. Plus, you know, again, is this someone where you should take 7-star? No, there's so many better strikers in the game. Like, if you want someone who can do multi, make a gem, like, guess what? His name's OTC. He does this way better. Yeah, he needs like +1 MP, but he can do it and he'll hit significantly harder. You know, again, Eddie, really good striker. You know, I think you can make an argument of Haku taking up 7-star than this Penta. I think you can make the argument of Steve Blackman over this Penta. I think you can make the argument of, oh, for sure, Rob. Rob is so much better than this Penta, and it's not even close. Like, Rob does so much damage. Again, if you didn't see the Hunte video, Bobby does like the most damage in the game currently that you can do. This Penta is not going to do that. So that's what I mean is this Penta, even if we give him another gear, it'd have to be like 200 red, 300 all gem to make him on par with his other versions in the game. I mean, very well, I could also see a AAA moment coming out that maybe gives him some more gem, might give him some more multi-strength, and that could very well help him out. But unfortunately, right now, I'm not a big fan of him. I do want to showcase one other thing, because I was looking at him as someone who kind of likes to do out-of-the-box builds or movesets that really no one tries. I was like, huh, this build to me isn't that great. So then I saw this move. It's like, man, 10 mil, you know, 10 mil finisher, biggest finisher in the game. And then I saw this move. And I was like, well, this kind of reminds me of OTC. So I'll show you this. I'll showcase this off here, because why not? I do not have the plates for this yet. I don't know how good this will be yet. But I'll showcase this off. So, skill plates would be Green Rumble and Green Mini Rumble. So in my head, I was like, oh, this could be like OTC. Mind you, this is with gear. If you do not have gear, because obviously I'm just, you know, using the gear as if like a perk. But if you're like me who doesn't, you actually can't run Sherry. You would have to run Sting. You'd have to run Sting. So here's what you do, right? Green's at 191, red's at 230. You hit this move, it gains black MP, 200% gem boost. So boom, 575. We put this down. You know, we hit this. Put them down, right? Boom. 6.5 million a green gem, which is way bigger than actually any of the others we've seen so far. But red gem only does like 2.9. So, but the idea behind this was if you had both rumbles, you know, a big green rumble, mini green rumble. The idea here is this: you hit this finisher, which mine only does 20 million. Obviously, if you had a black move damage Fury 3 metal, this would be way better. You would hit this, you make your 24 random red, which then would break, probably pretty reasonably, would break 30 red. And then all those extra times 10s would be made green, because the rumbles would set off, and it would make the whole board green. I don't know how much damage that would do. I have no idea if that would be technically the way to go, if that's better than the green-red-red build. I don't know. Is it still even worth it? If you could, probably not, because again, it's technically just a worse version of freaking Roman, OTC. So that's my issue with him, okay? Like, I think he's got so much potential. Like, this move is good. This move is pretty good. He's got the highest move damage move in the game. He's got a ton of ways to, you know, make gems. Like if this was just a make 40 green, well then I would swap the sacrifice in from the Penta Driver, and then he would definitely win. He'd still be just a worse OTC, but still nonetheless. Like he's got stuff. I think he's really unique and interesting, but it's still not enough, even from his past versions of Pentas with Zombie and Penta Era. I don't know what they were thinking within his design. I don't know if they know that there's more stuff coming for him. They're like, yeah, we're gonna give him more, and then this is gonna actually be, how he should, with a moment with like, yeah, because there very well could be a moment where it's like 100% red, +4 more multi strength, and I'd be like, okay, I'd be like, all right, that's pretty good. I wouldn't have any issue then with the green, red. But yeah, I don't really know how I feel about him, at least right now. Like, to me, he just seems really weak compared to just kind of the meta. Like, if we were still in the 6 gold meta, I still wouldn't, I don't think, run him. He would still have, like, the same issues that he has right now, where there's just better strikers. Like, again, we're talking about a character that came out literally last month. We had Rob, who was attainable for free. Where is this guy? He was attainable for free. He's got 2 gears. That makes him hit even harder. He's got the strongest multis in the game. He's got a great reversal. Like, this guy was completely free last month. And heck, the drip plate, the sticks, like the drip plate was kind of obtainable for a lot of people if you did get a good enough on a prize wall. The sticks have been a lot more obtainable now as well. Like, this guy was completely free and is like just so strong. And then you go to this guy and it's like, what are we doing? What are we doing? So I don't know. I don't know if there's more coming for him or not. I kind of hope there is, just because, yeah, right now I'm just so confused on what they were thinking with him. I'm like, okay, so every Penta is pretty much the same thing. The main movesets are all pretty much the exact same, except each version kind of seems like it's getting worse and worse and worse. I don't know if that's the intention there. Probably not. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing with him. I don't know if they know what they're doing with him, to be honest with you. I hope they do have something more for him. I don't see him getting a second gear, but I could definitely see a moment. And I do think that moment will probably help him out enough to where he actually might be usable. Because right now I'm like, I don't know. I just don't see me really running him. Like, I know it's 7-star gear, plates, ministry business, and his own plate for the red build. There's like 450 mil, which isn't technically terrible. But I'm like, there's no way, if we have a 7-star acro or 7-star zombie, they don't hit probably harder than that. Because they technically are hitting harder than him at gold. And I just simulated both builds of Penta with gear. Like, yeah, I'm missing, a plate, but still, I don't see that plate doing that much work for him compared to those two. So, I don't know. Again, a moment could come out, 4 more strength can come out for him on multis, and I'd be like, okay, and maybe they give him like 100% more red gem or something. And I'd be like, okay, I think he'll be okay. I think I would be like, yeah, he'll probably do like, I don't know, 600, 700 million, and I'd be like, whoa, that's pretty good. But right now, at least, and if they don't do any of that, I really don't see any reason why I would ever run him unless he's required. I mean, even if it's any Penta, I think I would rather run Acro or Zombie, right? Like, this Penta, to me, is just missing something else. But it's also not just that, it's also just his moveset. Like, if you actually look at him, Other than this multi move and this move that makes him mobile, every other move in his kit is either gaining MP or is a finisher that chucks gems out. That is it. Like, other than this move that makes him mobile, which is also an 8 charge freaking move, and then this move that makes multi, which is 9 charge, everything else is either a gain MP or is a finisher that makes gems, makes 40 green, makes red. Like, that's it. There is no move outside of that like makes it maybe another gem modifier or increases something else, or you know, like he doesn't have like a, oh, here's a 6 charge move that just chucks out gems or something like that. Like, he doesn't have a choose move or anything like that. So, because, like, to be honest with you, I kind of wish he had a choose move in here somewhere. Like, this move right here, I don't know how useful this is. This super kick. I think I would rather this, instead of being a gain black, choose 9 black or something, or like choose 9 green or something like that. Because yeah, I don't see a reason for like, why does he have so much gain MP? Like, why? And all his gem checking or any way to make the board actually do something is all off of finishers. So I don't know. Just the design of him feels off to me. Again, his moveset is literally just kind of a worse version of Acro and Zombie Penta, because it's literally just multis, except they do it better than him. I don't know. This video has gone on long enough. I'm almost at 40 minutes. I'm gonna let you guys go, even if you've been here for this. If you've been here, this long, I'm gonna let you guys go. So again, thank you guys for watching. Obviously, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share. We are now over 250 subscribers, so thank you guys so very much. And hopefully, and we still got what, this week, technically still, we got this weekend, and then we have a whole nother week ahead of us. Hopefully there's something else for this man that helps him out, because right now, I don't know. I don't get him. I don't see a reason to run him. I don't know what to do with him yet. Again, that other build I kind of showed, that tricolor, like, I think it's interesting, but it's, requires double rumble. And, realistically, you would need gear, and you're still not going to hit harder than OTC, who is much older and doesn't even need a skill plate to do what he does now. He just needs +1 MP. So, I don't know. I don't know. If you've made it this far, thank you for watching. And as always, I will see you guys in the next video. And hopefully, a few weeks from now, I can kind of look back at this man in this video and be like, okay, it's outdated. He's way better. He's good. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. All right. That's all I have. Thank you guys for watching. And I will see you guys in the next video.